G'day and welcome to part 2 of my 2016 New Zealand fishing and hunting adventure. On this episode, Ray takes myself and a few mates to a nice block of land between Mt Taranaki and Wanganui. Enjoy the footage. As always, please leave a comment. Be sure to tune in to part 3. So after a good 6 to 8 hours of driving, we arrived at the top of the mountain on the entry to the block. In order to get down to the shed, we had to use the quad bikes, which we'd taken as a precaution, unsure of what we were in for when we got to the block. Once we got to camp and got all our stuff sort of unpacked, Ray decided to take me on a bit of a walk while Nathan and my good Aussie mate Andy went on another section of the block. To get across this pretty rapid river, we were fortunate enough to find a suspension bridge that we were able to walk across. This gave us access to some really good country on the western side of the land. So Ray and I decided to follow this river south and then start heading up some of the hills to the west. The terrain was unlike anything I've ever experienced in Australia. Real steep, but the actual surface was nice and soft, unlike some of the rocky surfaces that we experience in northern New South Wales. As you can see from Ray's very classy footwear, he's quite experienced at doing this, getting around on gumboots as easily as what we were in our ultra modern super duper hiking boots. Fortunate enough that the block that we were hunting on was nice and open, which gave us a very good opportunity to glass the hills to keep a lookout for any mobs of fallow walking around. On the initial drive down to the hut, we were actually able to spot quite a few deer on some of the more southern ridges. here Ray's spotted a mob over on a ridge a few hundred metres away from us. A little bit too far to be able to get a clean shot away, so we decided to move in and around to get a little bit closer. After walking out of sight of that mob of deer, a few hundred metres to try and close the gap, we finally got to within shooting distance. This is where I let the team down though. Ray was actually looking at a mob of deer that were a couple hundred metres closer than we thought. This is where I messed up though. Ray was actually looking at a mob of deer that were a good 100 metres closer than the mob that I was looking at. Two separate targets. The mob that I had eyes on was well outside of my accurate shooting distance. Unfortunately, with all the confusion, we spooked a couple of sheep, which in turn spooked the mob of deer, pretty much eliminating any chance of a decent shot of this mob. Pretty gutted after missing a pretty obvious opportunity, decided to push on and keep heading to the west. Kept teaming down with rain, but persevered. After a few hundred metres, probably half a K of walking, I noticed up on the top of that ridge there a couple of moving objects. Pointed them out to Ray, and sure enough, there's another mob of decent sized fallow. We took our position and we were able to let a couple of shots off, successfully shooting 3 decent sized deer. One of the funniest things I've ever seen while collecting a kill. I was looking for one deer, which you can see here. And out of nowhere I hear Ray yell out, I've got him.
Hey,
I look over, and there he is on one of the deer that we shot. But he'd had to jump on the deer and slice its throat, tried to get up and run away. Now I'm a bit conservative in my distance. I think it was about 250 metres, but Ray was pretty sure that these were about 350, which is well outside my normal shooting range. I normally max myself out at 250, so I was pretty happy with the shots. So here I am fulfilling a bit of a New Zealand tradition. Apparently when you shoot your first deer in New Zealand, you're expected to eat the raw heart, and as gross as it might sound to some of you, it actually tasted quite nice. I went back for a second bite, it was that good. was a long, slippery trek. We had to piece it out, obviously, because there was 3 deer and only 2 of us. We'd get them part of the way and then come back and collect the other 2. Real slippery work. I felt pretty sorry for Ray slip sliding around in his gumboots, but we got him out nonetheless. Eventually we got the carcasses close enough to some semi-drivable ground that we were able to load them onto a quad bike, which made the pack out that much easier. Thanks heaps for watching. Be sure to tune in for part 3 of this adventure, which will encompass day 2 on this hunting trip. Thank you.